In this video, I want to talk about name resolution. Name resolution is a concept that we've actually been talking about for a while now. You just probably never heard me use that term before. So what do I mean by name resolution? Well, in essence, what I'm talking about is the meaning of the dot operator, this operator that means inside of the folder. Let's look at sort of a concrete example, but instead of typing Python code, I just want to look at some folders that I'm going to display here on the screen. So I'm going to first start off with a global variable p. P is going to have an ID in it that's going to refer to an object. The object that we're going to use is, well, let's use a text box object from our ongoing example with PowerPoint. So, okay, a text box could have a bunch of attributes inside of it. One of the attributes that it might have is, say, the text that I actually want to display. That's not the only folder that I'm going to have. I'm also going to have a folder for the text box class, the class folder. What's inside of the class folder? Well, the methods, things like the ability to draw the text box or the initializer. Okay, so let's go talk about name resolution. If I say p.text, how does Python know what I'm referring to? Well, Python is going to look at that and it's going to say, okay, you're talking about the variable p, and the dot means, oh, inside of the folder. So p has an ID of a folder. I look at that folder. There is a text attribute there. That must be what you're referring to. Okay, well, that was easy. But what if I say p.draw, calling the method? How does Python process that? Well, what Python's going to do is the same thing, right? It's going to start with a global variable p. It's going to say, okay, that's the ID of a folder. I'm going to go look at that folder and see if there's a draw there. And there isn't. I mean, methods can live in object folders, but they very rarely do. Python doesn't give us an error, though. I mean, it's actually going to draw something. How does it do that? Well, remember what we said, right? If I do dot something and that thing is not inside of the object folder, well, then Python goes to the class folder as a backup. There's like this implicit arrow from the object folder to the class folder, and it's going to go follow that. It comes to the class folder and it goes, aha, there's a draw method here, and now I know what to do. So it's resolved to the method draw inside of the text box class folder. Okay, that's all well and good. Oh, but wait, text box is a subclass of slide content. So it also has access, or as we say, inherits all of the methods of slide content. How does that work? Well, okay, let's go draw the folder for slide content. I'm going to draw my implicit arrow between the two class folders. And now let's do something like p.select, right? Because select is a method inside of the class folder for slide content. What does Python do? Well, it's going to start at p. It's going to go to the object. It's not going to see a select there. So it's going to move to the class folder. Does not see a select there, but it's not going to stop. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go, aha, to the class folder of the parent class, to slide content, and now it finds it. And now it's happy, so I'm not going to get an error. It knows the correct method to use. And in fact, this goes all the way up the subclass hierarchy until we reach the class object. So suppose I wanted to call p.double_string. Once again, I'm going to start at p. From there, I'm going to go to, well, the object folder. It's not there. Now I'm going to go to the class folder for text box. Not there. Okay, now I go to the class folder for slide content. Still not there, but I'm not going to give an error because I have one more place to check, and that is the object class. And there, indeed it is, and I'm happy. All right, so this entire process of going from object to class and then all the way up through the subclass hierarchy has a special name. And this is what's known as the bottom-up rule. And this bottom-up rule is essentially how inheritance works, right? If I can't find something in the class folder itself, well, then I go look for it. That's, say, a method inside of the parent class. We call it the bottom-up rule for a reason. This order of going from object to class to subclass, all the way up to object as the last resort is very, very important. Because what do we do if we've got two class folders that contain things with the same name? Well, this is really interesting, and this is what we'll look at in the next video.